Um, what's up, everybody? You are listening live and on the download to Roundtable Wrestling Radio for April 18th, 2017. I'm Joey924, and with me, as always, from PH, Michigan.
You know, I haven't lived in PH in 5 years still, so it's Sean Lathrop.
Yeah, I'm not going to start a whole new thing. From the Bronx of New York City,
Innocent, a.k.a. Big O. Stay woke, people.
Mr. Conspiracy.
That's right. I have a right to my fucking opinion.
You know what's funny about conspiracies is that in the 1990s, whenever somebody would say, you know, the government's watching us, right? That person was crazy. Now, in 2017, if you don't think the government is watching you, that's the crazy person.
Oh, isn't they're watching us.
Isn't that weird how it flip-flopped? Like, back in the day, you would be crazy if you said something like that, but now we all know, you know, with our phones and our PlayStations and, you know, we're being watched like a motherfucker. And by the way, it's going to even get worse in like 10, 15 years.
It's even scarier that they could enable my webcam without my permission just to see what I'm doing in my room.
That
it's fucking
is why,
bananas.
That is why I have a burner phone. And number two, not specifically for that, but number two, that's why I go on the internet maybe once, twice a week, and then I'm out. I don't need to be on the internet all the time, even though I'm not doing anything illegal. But but if you ever saw the movie War Dogs starring Jonah Hill and Miles Teller, awesome movie by the way, it shows what people can do via the internet. These two guys, based on a true story, was selling arms to fucking countries during the Iraq War. Two 25-year-olds were doing contracts for weapons. You know how you need weapons to fight a war? Well, these two motherfuckers using the internet scam the fucking government and all that shit. So that's why I'm like, I'm good with the internet. I'll go on, like, if I need a piece of information or something, I'll look it up, but the shit is crazy now, man. Shit is way too crazy, and I don't like where we're going. Because in a couple of, probably maybe a couple of months, I would have to say, one war is about to start. So we're gonna have like two wars at the same time. You thought George Bush having two wars at the same time was cool? How about three wars at the same time? That's gonna be fucking cool.
That's gonna be cool. That's scary if you ask me.
Yeah, man.
I'm joking around.
Shit is not cool, man. And then you're like, what is he, a month or two in already, and this is what's going on? This is crazy. But
just over 100 days in, and he's already dropped the biggest bomb in history, minus nuclear warheads.
Actually, it's called the mother of all bombs.
Yes,
that's what it's actually called.
Reckless,
But if you saw Trump, or if you've known about Trump before the whole election, you know that this guy was a war-hungry guy. I mean, this should not be surprising to anyone other than the person that voted for him, apparently, because it's like, they're always like, what? He did what? And I'm always like, yeah, no, he did it. He's been saying it for like, since way before he got elected. He's a war-happy guy, man. He wanted to, hey, if you got a narcissist and he's in power, I would have been surprised if he didn't start a war. Like, that would have surprised me. I was waiting for the war to start. Like, I was just wondering which country he was going to do first. Like, but now, like, we're mixing it up with.
Why not all of them?
Yeah, why not all of them at the same time? Right. Because exactly. in Donald Trump's mind, we have such a powerful army. Because that's what he always says. We have the most powerful army in the world, and yes, that might be true. However, our army can't be in 17 different countries at the same time. So you can have the most powerful whatever, but, you're going to have to spread that shit thin.
I will always quote, during the first Democratic debate, Jim Webb, the biggest weakness we have is our technology. We could have giant bombs all day, but we seem to be getting hacked every 5 seconds, and our videos being shown online, so I don't know about that.
And not only that, but because we do have the coolest weapons and the coolest bombs, doesn't necessarily mean that we have to use them. Right? This guy wants to break that new toy out of the box. You know, like, oh, we got a cool new warhead. We need to use this. Like, chillax, man. This guy's gonna get. You know, the problem with this is that the real, legitimate, innocent people. And I'm not talking about innocent people that are fighting in the war. I'm talking about legitimate, innocent people. These are the ones that are going to get fucked over here, like, big time. Because I don't know if you've ever seen these radicals, but they don't give a shit. They will go into your fucking backyard and they will broadcast it proudly. You know, these are not sneak. You know, people always like 9/11 was a sneak attack. No, it wasn't a sneak attack, dude. They boarded the plane. It took a couple of hours. You know, they had balls as far as I was concerned. So imagine like you're pissing off China and you're pissing off Russia because you're not cooperating with Russia nearly enough to their satisfaction. Then you're pissing off this country, and it's just like madness. Basically madness. It's like Vince McMahon when WCW and ECW were around. Like, he had an itch, and he needed to scratch that itch by monopolizing the companies, and he's still trying to do it. You know, even with Ring of Honor rumors or TNA rumors, you know, last year. You know, you think Vince McMahon, if he has an opportunity, no matter how worthless it is to him, he wouldn't buy TNA, the library and stuff, or Ring of Honor and some of their likenesses and all that. He'll take that opportunity. And then what is Christopher Daniels going to do? Answer me that. Oh, what is Christopher Daniels going to do if he has nowhere to work?
He'll
retire. He's already that time, right? So.
He's probably do what Adam Pearce or everyone else do. Just start training guys at WWE.
I don't know, man. I'm just not a big, you know, I remember for those that are listening that did not get to experience that time period in wrestling, when we had Nitro, when we had ECW, whether ECW was on at 2 a.m. or not, it was a fun time period because we got to go to another channel and see different guys and, you know, try to always decipher the code that they were saying to each other, and looking at Shawn Michaels doing the Wolfpack sign to Kevin Nash. And that was exciting. You know, I can't say that, you know, other than being excited for a couple of wrestlers, but the overall product, I don't know if I can honestly say for me that I'm excited every week to watch the overall product. Yeah. For example, I'll give you an example. Last night on Monday Night Raw, Braun Strowman fought the Big Show, right? So this is now the third time in the history of the WWE where two guys fly up the top rope and the ring breaks. Now, two things about this really quickly. If you've never saw it the first time with Brock Lesnar, or the second time, but really the first time, because that first time with Taz, you know, we make fun of Taz all we want, but he was awesome on commentary that night. I'll never forget it because he actually cursed and they bleeped it. When you saw Lesnar and Big Show do it for that very first time and that crowd reaction, you know, well, it was just incredible. And then the second time, and then last night, the only thing that was cool about last night that I had never seen is that the referee, you know, flew out of the ring. Like, that was pretty cool on that front.
I don't think that was on purpose, though.
I don't know if it was or not, but it was cool. Other than that, you know, and the only people that could get excited about something like that are the people there. Like, I think that would be cool to see in person, you know, but if you follow the WWE for more than 10 years, I mean, you've seen it twice already. You know,
yeah. But the second one, nobody really remembers like that. Let's be honest, Mark Henry. Nobody really talks about that. I think yesterday's was a lot more better than the Mark Henry one. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
You know, it didn't surprise me. I seen it, but with that being said, I still think it was a great ending to a pretty good match, a pretty good big man match. To be honest with you, so I have no complaints that they did it. It just didn't shock me, but it was still cool to see.
No, my point is that when you are someone like myself or like you or Byron who has watched wrestling for a very long extended period of time, you probably have seen something that they do today in one fashion or another.
Yeah. So it's in a video game, for Christ's sakes, for what I understand, right? Yeah, so it's like, even my son, 8 years old, he was like, "Oh, I seen it in the video game." So it's not like they've never seen it. It's just
even my son will reference Brock Lesnar in Big Show, you know. But when you've seen that or certain things that I've witnessed over 35 years, it's a little bit difficult to get excited or to go on social media and be like, I can't believe if I was there live, yes, I think it would be cool, but not watching it on television. No,
I'm pretty happy that they didn't say, oh my God, have you ever seen something like this? If they would have said that, then I would have probably got a little upset about it.
The referee flying out of the ring was cool. Then I noticed they didn't have their new Titantron steel posts. They had the old posts. I hadn't noticed that. I hadn't noticed that before that happened. But let me tell you something. In a positive note, like you said, for those two big motherfuckers to pull off the match that they did again. And I think a better match than they had the first time, and the first one was actually pretty good. Kudos off to Braun Strowman, man. This guy's killing it in every way you can kill it. He is killing it, to me, in character, in what he did to Roman Reigns, the Roman Reigns massacre of 2017.
The greatest thing ever in professional wrestling.
Yes, ever.
I wish it was.
Yeah, that is the greatest fucking line in the world. I'm not done with you. But you know what? Yeah, you're giving a lot of credit to Braun Strowman, but you got to give credit to the Big Show. I mean, we're talking about a guy who's just a year and a half ago, people was begging for him to get off TV. He's washed up, he's overweight, and he pulls out a great match like he did yesterday. It was just great. It was wonderful, and the crowd was behind him.
It does bother me, though, that Big Show will get on the promo and be like, I'm in the best shape of my life. I'm like, no, you're not. Stop lying with the best shape of your life. I saw when
he's in the second best shape of his life, which, the first one, of course, being WCW.
Yeah, when he was
in WWE, he was always, but in WWE, he was always pretty fat, let's be honest. I mean, this is the longest that he's kept weight off.
I saw him when he started the beef with Mayweather. He was in really good shape at that time.
Yeah, but then he gained weight pretty fast.
Yeah. Right. I mean, the only other time I'd say might have been better than this was his feud with Brock Lesnar way back in the day when he Paul Heyman did that swerve and all that. That was great shape, Big Show.
No, I think he's in better shape now. I think he's a little more slimmer too now. He might be a
little bit more slimmer, but he's definitely not in the best shape of his life. Maybe he feels that he's in the best shape of his life. I can understand that. But look-wise, no. WCW, you were doing drop kicks from the top rope, so clearly you were in much better shape back then. You didn't have 20 years or 25 years of bumps and stuff, But yeah, no, I agree with you all. I think Big Show does deserve praise, and I'm just saying, Braun Strowman with the Roman, like you said last week, and we, our episode got a little messed up from last week. But we talked about the Braun Strowman Roman Reigns thing, and like you said, this kind of has redeemed Braun from the couple of losses that he had, and also the elimination at the Royal Rumble. I think Braun doing what he did to Roman and last night, I think it's kind of redeemed him a little bit. I thought he was going to get lost, but he's bounced back, man. He's bounced back. So
he needs to go over on Roman now. If he can go over in the next pay-per-view, I feel like after that it's going to be him and Brock. I think they're going to.
I don't think so, man. But I do not see it. I do not see Roman, who they have scheduled or penciled in, fighting Brock, losing a match from here to that point.
I see it because he's injured now. That's going to be the catch. That's going to be the reason why he lose. He's going to sell the hell out that injury and basically lose. And they're going to be like, oh my God, what a valiant effort by Roman Reigns. He was injured, cracked ribs, broken neck, and he still came out and gave it his all. I can hear it now.
He's gonna sell that injury like Superman sold Batman's beating. Like
he better sell that injury because the injury, a beating like that, and you coming back in 2 weeks. I don't think he needs to be running down and doing. Yeah, you don't need to be doing 5 Superman punches each match now. You need to calm down because you're injured.
I don't know. Roman is Super Roman, and I just don't see him doing that.
It almost seems like the crowd decided that Braun's the face, especially when he's saying things like, I did to him what he deserved. And it's just like a lot of people kind of agree with Braun right now.
They do, but WWE, and I said this 2 weeks ago to Byron, who thought that he was going to turn good. That Roman's going to turn heel. I said to WWE, they just don't care about what the fans are reacting to. And the Undertaker match at WrestleMania and the night after is the grandest example of that to the fullest. WWE could care less about the fans' reaction to Roman. They're going to push their agenda wherever they want to push their agenda to. So I don't see Roman turning heel anytime soon, and I don't see him selling as much as you think he's going to sell. I think he's going to be Super Roman, and I think... Was he on Raw last night at all?
No.
Okay. No, but for what I heard, he was in a house show over the weekend, which is pretty stupid.
I mean, house shows don't matter because, like, Emmalina was on house shows forever before she showed up. So
come on, bro, you just got the shit kicked out of you, and you're in a house show.
So there goes my point right there. If he was at a house show, don't expect Roman to be selling anything. That's it. Roman's, he's exempt.
No, I heard he was selling the injury, but that's as far as it went.
He was selling the injury so bad that he beat the crap out of Braun Strowman.
Yeah.
He beat Braun Strowman? That's what he fought? I just heard he was in a
match. Braun was in a match. Then he showed up, speared him, and Braun couldn't get up.
Oh, God. See what I'm saying? This is right there. Don't expect. I'm telling you that WWE wants Roman, especially after the Undertaker thing. They want Roman to look strong as a motherfucker and to fight Brock. And I don't see him losing or, selling or whatever you want to call it.
Honestly, just because it was an ambulance, my first thought was when Hogan killed The Rock in a freaking back of an ambulance. And how long was The Rock gone before he came back and beat Hogan at Mania?
I think it was that week. I don't know.
It's just fucking
I think it might have been that week.
Maybe ambulances are just really safe if you die in them.
Yeah. Which, if you're from the Bronx, you know that you die all the time in ambulances. You ain't making it to the hospital. But, so yeah, I mean, Roman, that was, Braun beating Roman up last week was just one of the coolest things that they've done in God knows how long. At least since Brock and Undertaker had that brawl. But even the Roman thing was a little bit more extreme, if you will. I really, really enjoyed it a lot, big time. By the way, I'm sorry, I didn't watch Raw in its entirety. Was Finn Balor on last night?
Yeah, he beat Kurt Hawkins.
Oh, okay. So he's all right.
In 30 seconds. Well, supposedly the reports is that they did like an impact test on him or something like that. So
yeah, it's called Jinder Mahal did an impact test on him.
Yeah, so they did an impact test and supposedly he passed, but to be on the safe side, they gave him a 30-second squash match.
And to be on the safe side, they gave Jinder Mahal a number 1 contender match. And
no carbohydrate Mahal. I told you, what was it, last week or 2 weeks ago?
Just to be on the safe side, though.
Hold on, but what did I tell you last week or 2 weeks ago? Jinder Mahal looks like a force, and I had a feeling they were going to go this route. For some reason, doing that to that football player in WrestleMania, somebody must have seen it and just liked that image or something. Because ever since then, it's like his career is going up.
Well, first of all, he looks like a force. He's taking fucking steroids.
So was everybody else. Who cares? He just.
But it's not that noticeable. God.
I mean, bro. He's using. It's not only the steroids though. It's it's obviously he's on roids. His look. He looks mean. He doesn't look like. He looks like a legitimate heel. He doesn't look like a tweener. He looks like a real bad guy.
Yeah.
So I would understand if Jinder Mahal was one of these guys like that fans, really like underneath really wanted to have a push or that they. He's
a heel.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is Jinder Mahal. Nobody cares about Jinder Mahal, is what I'm saying, and you're going to give that dude because he pushed a football guy a title match at a pay-per-view. Give me a
hear the heat that he gets when he comes out. The booze is pretty loud. When I was at the house show, the booze was running rapid for Jinder Mahal.
I don't know if that's I don't know. I don't know if that's heat or we don't care. Get out of here.
At least SmackDown's doing something with their guys. I mean, Jinder Mahal suddenly being in a main event picture, while on Raw, it's still kind of the same 5 guys going at it.
I don't mind. Honestly, I'll give Jinder Mahal a little. I don't want him to win the belt now, but no. I don't mind. And there's been reports that they wanted to give him a mid-card push. That he's in plans for a mid-card push, and I guess it started today. And I'm all for it.
Okay, so wait, you're telling me that you don't mind that a guy that you have not mentioned like 3 times on this show is all of a sudden in the main event of a pay-per-view? Give me a break. You don't care.
I mean, I kind of like
no,
it.
no.
You like him because he's jacked up. I like him because he's jacked up.
Yes, he's jacked up, but he looks like a real look at his demeanor. He does not look like a tweener. He looks like a legitimate badass, badass Indian that you don't want to fuck with. And I like that look. And I feel like it could take him further than where he's been since 3MB, Because let's be honest, if this would have been a 3MB Jinder Mahal, okay. But now he's it's a little different now.
I'm sorry. Listen, if you want us to do that for the U.S. title, the Intercontinental title, but pushing him to Randy Orton, Backlash? Come on, man.
Which
That's
even
ridiculous.
then, you think about, you got AJ Styles fighting for the U.S. title at Backlash.
Yeah, that's my point.
They're making the U.S. title relevant, and they're making other wrestlers relevant. I like what SmackDown's doing.
I'm not against doing something new or different. I'm just saying that we all know where this is headed. This is headed nowhere. It's going to do nothing for nobody. Randy Orton is, he basically said as much in the promo. I'm going to, RKO you, and that'll be the end of that. And that's exactly what's going to happen.
The only thing I wish they would have did, he would have won a couple matches, not suddenly win and then he's going to start. I never liked it when somebody who gets jobbed out completely and then they win one number 1 contender match and they start winning all of a sudden. I never was a fan of that. I really wish he would have had a little momentum before, but with that being said, I still don't mind.
I mean, in fairness, the guy he beat was a guy who had no momentum to begin with. So
you main event, a SmackDown Live. Okay, I probably would still have a problem with it, but we're talking about a pay-per-view for the WWE title. We're not talking about the Universal title. We're talking about the actual WWE title. And
I understand that.
Come on,
yeah,
man.
I understand. I mean, I just like the fact he's getting pushed. It's something new. It's something different. Maybe it didn't have to be in the pay-per-view, but
I would like it too if it was. I would like it too if it was going somewhere. But I'm telling you that Jinder Mahal is going to be released by the end of the year. I'm telling you. I doubt it. I'm sticking with it.
I really don't think he's gonna get. I think Vince McMahon is drooling right now because of his body, and he's gonna push him. Vince McMahon.
So that's another stupid thing, that Vince McMahon is drooling over this guy's body, and yet they have this whole image and wellness programs and all this bullshit. But they'll push it aside if it fits their agenda. That's my problem with WWE, is that they have a wellness program that they preach about, that they had on CNN, but they'll put it aside as long as it fits their agenda, is my thing. Because let me tell you something. Jinder Mahal has not been in the gym working out and get those fucking things on his shoulders, all right? Don't give me that. This guy is going to fail the wellness program.
Hold on. You telling me JBL is lying? Oh, no. Who's JBL? Not JBL. What's this other guy's name? Corey Graves. When they stress the fact that he's dieting, nobody diets like him, and nobody works out. You are you saying they're lying? I mean, they called him No Carbs Mahal. I mean, come on.
I mean, all they did was quote what he said on Twitter, because someone called him out on Twitter about juicing, and he responded saying he does not juice and he does blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
I believe him.
Okay? I'm not. By the way, I'm not saying Corey Graves is lying, but I'm also saying that Corey Graves is not telling the whole truth. There's a difference.
Listen, it's no doubt he's juicing. I mean, come on, let's be honest. So was almost every top star since the '80s juicing. All right, he ain't any different. We should have ridiculed him because of it.
No, I'm not. By the way, let me get this straight. I'm not saying First of all, I'm not against doing that. What I'm against is WWE preaching that they're against it and then bypassing it to fit their agenda. That's what I'm against. I have no problem with Hogan or back in the day people taking steroids. It made Ultimate Warrior look awesome. I'll freely admit that. And if they want to listen, they're grown men. They understand what the the bad things are about, and they still choose to do it. So that's on them. What I'm against is WWE being hypocritical about what they want when they want to fit their agenda. And they're going to bypass a guy who is clearly on steroids. It's a little bit different from guys that slowly have that build. But Jinder Mahal just burst out, out of his.
Yo, I don't even think he had that body when he first came back. When he turned on Heath Slater, right? I don't even think he had that.
He showed a picture of his fucking shoulders, man. I mean, it's so apparent and obvious. My problem is WWE's being hypocritical about it. If you're gonna have a no drug policy and a no tolerance policy, okay, then do that. But don't.
I'm sorry.
But don't say that you have a no tolerance policy and then you clearly have a fucking tolerance.
I think being more hypocritical is them going up to him saying, we can't give you a push because you're on steroids. That's being more hypocritical. Meanwhile, we have the Brocks, the Rybacks, the Batistas, the Goldberg, 50-year-old Goldberg, who was a twig when he came, and all of a sudden he's back to being Goldberg in his 20s.
And when a bad thing happens, because we haven't had a bad thing happen in WWE in a little while, but when something does. When something bad does happen, guess who's going to be on the chopping block? It ain't going to be Roman. It ain't going to be Brock. It's going to be fucking Jinder Mahal. That's
you really got it into this guy.
I'm actually looking back at his old stuff when he was 3MB and such. Jinder Mahal was always kind of that big. He just wasn't as oily.
No.
His veins was not as vascular as it is.
That's what I'm saying. Like he wasn't as oily and stuff.
You're not understanding what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that Jinder Mahal is the first person that's going to pay the price when something goes wrong. That's all I'm saying.
So you're saying they're going to be, we're going to fire Ginger because, I said Ginger. Sorry. They're going to look for him solely to cut him if something hits the fan? Come on, man.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
All these roid addicts they got in WWE, and they're going to look for Jinder Mahal specifically?
Absolutely. Yes. Why? Because he's dispensable.
Yeah, I guess.
That's the first guy that's going to go.
Listen, he got a new crew. Who is that? Who is Bollywood? I mean, I've heard of them.
The Bollywood boys. They were in the Cruiserweight Classic, and then they competed in 205 Live for a short period. They're essentially an Indian tag team of cruiserweights. I
seen the Cruiserweight Classic. I just don't remember them.
They were in the first round. They were pretty forgettable, to be honest.
I thought those guys were the vendors trying to get their money.
No, they.
I thought they were the Colognes at first.
No, they're still your Global Force Wrestling Tag Team Champions. Last I heard.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's where they're from. What I'm saying, by the way, is to the benefit of Jinder. My thing about WWE is Jinder or whatever, is that when the shit hits the fan, he's gonna be the guy that they're gonna place the shit on, and that's gonna be fucked up. And when everybody's gonna be like, oh, we knew he was on steroids, of course he did, and you still pushed him anyway. I'm telling you, this stinks to high heaven. You're not gonna sit there and tell me that WWE during WrestleMania weekend said, you know what, we have big plans for Jinder Mahal next week. Like, give me a break. Come on, man. This is bullshit, is what it is. And I think, again, Jinder is the one that's gonna suffer. I mean, I hope he enjoys this push because shit is hitting the fan.
Why would he suffer? He's figured, at least he's getting to the main event finally.
That's what I'm saying.
He's doing pretty good for himself.
I hope he enjoys it. And we still have several weeks to that, so we don't even know if that's guaranteed. I'm sure some shenanigans are going to arise before that point. So you telling me that you prefer Ginger or whatever over Sammy, who got screwed? Who, by the way, apparently switching shows has not done nothing for Sami Zayn.
Exactly. Yeah, there you go, my answer right there.
Yeah.
It did nothing for him, and it did everything for Jinder Mahal. So,
I mean, look at the heels they have on SmackDown. They need to build some up now. It ain't going to be Eric Rowan. They're going to be building.
Seriously, man.
That would have made more sense to me than Jinder Mahal out of nowhere getting that. And we all know. And by the way, let's just say that this is a legitimate push, that they really like the guy and they really want to push the guy. This has also everything also to do with the whole football thing. It got coverage on ESPN. It got coverage on all kinds of sports. Everybody was talking about it. It's another reason why. This is not a we like Ginger. Let's push him. He's been here for a couple of years. Let's give him a shot. That's not what this is. It's either the football thing or something else is going on. But it's not there.
That's not.
They literally fired him in 2014. He didn't do shit in the Indies for 3 years.
what I'm saying. Like, this whole thing just is so weird to me that you have a guy that, like you said, wasn't winning matches, was jobbing most of the time on Raw, and now because he pushes a football player, now he's on a main event of a pay-per-view.
Hey, listen, why not? But hold on, but why not give it a try? Like, why not give it a shot and let's see if it sticks? It's not gonna hurt nobody. Hey, listen, because if it doesn't work out, he go back to the lower, the lower card.
I'm not gonna pretend to care about somebody that I didn't care about. I never cared about all that. I'm not gonna pretend that I care about him now.
Just to quote the NXT guy who's listening in our live chat on the fake stream, can't hinder the Jinder. Not going to fake saying, I've been a fan of it since the start, but he's excited to see what's going to happen next.
Joey wants to say something so badly. I'm not excited. I'm just interested. I don't mind. It's a big difference.
Not everybody's going to pretend that they cared all along about Jinder Mahal. Give me a fucking break.
Yes, we need the new Muhammad Hassan. We have found him. All right.
In fairness. I'm probably the only Jinder fan here because I was a big 3MB fan, but that's not the point.
That's true.
Listen, I didn't give two shits about Jinder Mahal when he came back. All right, for some reason now, I don't know. It's just I don't mind.
It's because of his body. It's because of his body.
No, it's listen. You make it sound so gay, man. No offense though.
No, not in a gay way. I like guys that are built. I understand that because I used to like those kind of guys too. But what I'm saying is that.
I don't care if he's built, bro. I didn't care about Big Z, Ezekiel Jackson. I didn't care about those kind of people. It's his look. He looks like a mean dude now.
If they took it seriously, like if they started making Jinder a little bit more like Muhammad Hassan, then I would get into it. But I know where this is headed, and I'm telling you, I'm not going to get invested in this and then have the WWE do what they always fucking do with one of these situations, and that's where it's headed. Randy Orton's probably going to RKO him in like 2 seconds at Backlash and have an easy night off. Is what is probably going to happen.
Do you really think that the United States title, if it's AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens, won't be main eventing over this match?
Oh yeah, no, but you got to understand something, and I'm glad you brought that up. I do think that AJ will be the last match, but we are still talking about the WWE title. Number one, it should be the main event. And the last match, but we have, and by the way, it's not all Jinder Mahal. Randy Orton, we talked about this last week on the show. Like I said, the show got a little messed up. I'm not in love at all with the idea of Randy Orton having that title. I think Randy Orton, like Steve Austin said, a great guy. He's been there, for a long time, third generation wrestler, and he's a stud, in terms of in-ring stuff. Yeah. He can pull out great matches, but as the face of the company, no, he's not in that position anymore in my eyes. He's past that.
Would you prefer Jinder Mahal before he did his finisher scream, Allahu Akbar?
Oh, hell yeah. I'm telling you, if they took it more seriously, I would be more involved. And like with the Bollywood guys, like have a group like that'd be awesome. That would be really awesome. But I'm telling you, I know WWE's patterns, and their pattern is that they're gonna. This is a pay-per-view that really doesn't matter to them. Number one, that AJ's gonna be the show stealer or Nakamura, one of the two. And that's where the focus is going to be, and that's my problem right there. You have a champion that, yes, he gets pops. I'm not going to deny that. But for the most part, do you honestly want or care about a Randy Orton match, especially after the debacle at WrestleMania? So you have a champion that nobody cares about, and you have an opponent that nobody cares about. That's a recipe for disaster, as far as I'm concerned.
Here's my question being thrown at you about this situation. What the hell is a House of Horrors match, really? Because that's supposed to be the next, should be the blow-off match between Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt.
I thought it was the match that we saw at WrestleMania. That was a fucking House of Horrors.
I think it's pretty much going to be the final deletion all over again.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, because if you notice, Bray Wyatt's promos is a lot like how the Hardys and the editing and everything that was going on at TNA. Can I say something real fast? Yes. They moved Bray Wyatt to Raw. I said to myself, hey, you know what? maybe it'll be a little resurgence in his career. Let's see what happens. And then when he started doing his promo, I'm just not into it no more. I'm not into the Bray Wyatt character no more. It's stale. It's just not what it used to be. I'm sorry. I don't care for it.
It's not that his gimmick is stale. It's that he doesn't accomplish anything. I've been saying it for a while before you've jumped on, that he never wins his feuds. He rarely wins his feuds, to be more accurate then. And when he does start a new one, it's something, the moon, the eyes, brother. Whoa.
Yes.
And then suddenly gets his ass kicked, goes to the next feud.
This is what I wanted to say. I have to say that part. Like, you watching the video, you get caught up. He's talking about how he's going to do all these vicious things to this person. And you sit there like, wow, you believe it. And then he loses. Why did I... It just don't make no sense to me.
And that's my point about Jinder and Orton.
You back with Jinder. Leave Jinder alone.
But it goes into with the Bray Wyatt thing. It's the same thing with Bray Wyatt. He won the title at Elimination Chamber, and we all knew, hey, this guy has about 4 weeks, tops, and it was a horrible 4 weeks. He didn't make any impact. He didn't make any waves. And because people have said, well, he only had the title for a short time. By the way, so did AJ Styles. But guess how much of an impact AJ had with that title in a short time?
What do you mean short time? AJ had it from September to January. At least he had 4 pay-per-views. Bray didn't get a single pay-per-view.
Yeah, that's true.
That's still a relatively short time. The point is that we all knew where it was going. Now I don't really care about Bray Wyatt. I think that that match at WrestleMania just really turned me off to the whole idea. Honestly, that was like I said, a House of Horrors match, because that ruined the WWE main event title picture at WrestleMania. So and now Randy Orton has it, even someone that I care about even less than Bray Wyatt, and then to top it off, by the way, you put Bray Wyatt on Raw. So, okay, you keep Eric Rowan on SmackDown. Didn't you just reunite these two motherfuckers on SmackDown?
Yep. I mean,
and then you put Kevin Owens on SmackDown, and who follows Kevin Owens? Sami Zayn follows him over there. Another fucking annoying thing that bothers me. You put Charlotte on SmackDown. She already is the number one contender on SmackDown. You put Alexa Bliss on Raw. She's already the number one contender on Raw. It's like they switch places.
No. But don't forget the last part, though. Before you say something, Sean. Then you got The Miz, who comes in, and Dean Ambrose follows them. And then they start feuding on Raw, but they just finish feuding on SmackDown. It's pretty stupid.
I hate it. I hate shit like that. Like, if the reason that you switched it up or shake up or whatever is to have fresh new matches. Why would you follow someone that you're constantly in a rivalry with?
I'm going to defend a few of these moments. Point A, Bray Wyatt going to Raw. Yes, I don't know what the hell Eric Rowan's going to do now, but now you have Bray Wyatt versus Finn Balor, and the potential of Bray Wyatt versus Broken Matt Hardy. Holy crap to both those moments.
But there was rumors.
Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. These two guys, they're going to fight forever. They're going to create amazing feuds every time they get in the ring. I want them close, but also not too close, Not being matches, but at least on the same show.
But there was reports that Bray Wyatt was pretty upset by going to Raw.
Oh, yeah, of course it was.
So, I mean, so basically it was a last-minute decision.
He thought he was going to be in the WWE title picture till SummerSlam, and then he's finding out his House of Horrors is over. So,
by the way, and all those things are great ideas if they did those ideas, but chances are WWE is going to fuck this up in some way, and we're not going to see Matt Hardy and Bray, and the Finn Balor might get injured by the time that match even starts. Oh, so I listen. I like Sami and Owens, but I think they should have taken a break from each other for a little while. That's all I'm saying. And the same thing goes for, like O said about Ambrose and Miz. You put them on the show, switch them to another show, and they start feuding with each other. Like it just we got this already for a couple of months on SmackDown. Let me see something new, something different. I don't want to see the same bullshit over and over and over again. And then, like I said, with Charlotte, all she did was switch places with Alexa Bliss.
In fairness with the Charlotte one, I mean, she's Charlotte. She was the best damn female wrestler of last year. It's impossible not to give her. It's like John Cena coming back after hiatus and says, I'm WWE #1 contender champion. And they'll be like, yeah, you're John Cena. I get it. So, but Alexa Bliss, at least she won in the Marcus Contenders match. It wasn't like they gave it to her.
Alexa Bliss has to skip over everybody, though. I mean, I'm sorry.
She didn't beat anyone herself, technically. I mean,
I like Alexa Bliss.
Finished off the match, and then she stole the victory. So, I mean, they did
it
smart.
I like Alexa Bliss a lot, but I don't think it should have been right away. That's all I'm saying. I don't think it should have been like she should have skipped Sasha Banks and the Behemoth Lady and everybody that's on that roster. I mean, again, the whole point of the shakeup is to shake things up, not to see the same bullshit on a different. Now you're wearing red and the other person's wearing blue. That's about it. That's the only difference that we got. You know, and even that's relatively not that different. Because we all know Charlotte's beating Naomi. Naomi should not have been the women's champion.
So
you know,
I mean, if we're gonna talk that, then yeah, I'm saying Naomi's winning that, no problem.
Wait, when is that pay-per-view? Is that first or
2 weeks? Payback 2 weeks.
Okay.
And that card's really done, I'm thinking. Last I saw.
By the way, yesterday Jeff Hardy wrestled Cesaro.
Yeah, I got that card. If you want to see that card, real quick.
What card?
The payback card.
Oh. Jeff Hardy versus Cesaro, and two things about Jeff Hardy versus Cesaro. One is WWE could not wait to get Jeff Hardy in a singles match. I was just counting the days for that to happen. Number two, Jeff is a little chunky. I don't know if I'm the only one that sees that, but chunkier than he's ever been. And
they're both actually a little chunkier than they were before.
Matt Hardy looks. No, I think Matt Hardy looks okay. I think, and by the way, number three is, when the whole WrestleMania thing happened, I said that WWE was not going to bring Matt Hardy in right out of the gate. You don't bring the Hardys after 7 or 8 years and have them be broken. But WWE does plan on making Matt Hardy the broken Matt Hardy. Just like I said, you introduce him first, then you bring that shit in later, because there's no question that he's going to turn on his brother Nero, and they're going to do that whole shit over in WWE.
I don't know if you guys covered it, but of course this whole thing going on with the TNA lawsuit with the Broken Universe. Of course, we're already hearing that WWE is going to be defending and representing Matt Hardy as much as possible, but they're also saying that if TNA does continue with this lawsuit, WWE will countersue for using the phrase charismatic enigma that they trademarked on Jeff Hardy.
Wow. That's a
but
good
then
one.
But then there was another report, and I don't know how true it is, but supposedly WWE is trying to work a deal with TNA to use the broken gimmick.
I would too.
I'm talking about trade talent, but like maybe a little financial, maybe give them something and say, okay, leave us alone.
Here's $20. Now go away.
I can tell you right now.
Go get yourself a new owl.
I can tell you right now that WWE is going to win this one way or the other. I'm just letting you know. Spoiler alert: Matt Hardy will be broken Matt Hardy by the time the summer's out.
Yeah, he's still saying certain words, and if you look at the pictures of him and Jeff Hardy holding the belts, he always got that broken face, that weird smile that he got. It's like they're trying exactly. They're trying to keep it relevant. To not bury it too much,
I think Matt Hardy said on Twitter that right now he feels two souls stuck in his body trying to battle and aim for who he is. And I'm like...
And that's perfect.
It was like when I said, WWE probably in their, I'm just talking about in their mentality, they probably weren't sure that everybody at Orlando was going to know about the broken Matt Hardy. So in other words, they didn't want to probably have Hardy come out as broken and then risk people not knowing. So they went to the guaranteed Hardys. Now, granted, everybody did know. But I'm just saying from WWE's standpoint, they probably didn't think that people were going to know. I can almost guarantee that they probably thought that. But now that they see that and they heard it, now they're going to to go forward with it. Now it's going to, there's no question in my mind that that's where that's headed, because there's already so many times we're going to see the Hardys do the same shit as the Hardys. We need to see something brand new that we haven't seen before in WWE. So I would say, like I said, by SummerSlam, it's going to be a different story with the Hardys. And TNA is not going to prevent anything from it happening. I can tell you that also.
Should we cover TNA at all or no?
They got their own. What about
recently on the episode of TNA, they've been saying that they were doing a Team Jeremy Borash versus Team Goat, aka Team Josh Matthews. Winning team became the announcer for TNA. So Jeremy Borash, not Jeremy, god damn it. Josh Matthews is no longer on the TNA commentary team. It's Jeremy Borash and Pope.
Wow.
You know what? James Storm, they were doing a poll online, and you could vote for EC3, James Storm, or Matt Morgan to become the new number 10 to the TNA Championship. Yeah, James Storm won that poll easily, and he's going to be facing on Bobby Lashley this Thursday live for the TNA Championship.
Mm-hmm. You know, I seen Impact. I'm not gonna see him live. I actually sat down and watched the whole thing except the main event, which I don't know why. I do have to say something about Impact. Wrestling was pretty good.
Yeah.
But Bruce Pritchard really does a horrible job trying to be an authority figure. I mean, that promo was bad. Him and EC3, it was really bad. I mean, I tried to get into it. Bruce Pritchard, Brother Love, does not seem like an authority figure. He does not know what the hell he's doing in that mic.
But it still feels like TNA's bringing back, I think Byron said like every week, they need to focus on their own guys. And they're bringing in a lot of guys no one's heard of.
I can't hear you.
They're bringing in a lot of guys no one's heard of. And also having these names people know, like Matt Morgan, Magnus. They're building their talent pool again, and I like it.
No, but it's cool. But I just mean him being as an authority figure. It doesn't sound right. They need to get him off TV now.
I'm glad you brought this up. Even though I'm not going to talk about TNA, but I am going to talk about. I'm not. I'm going to talk about, but in keeping with the broadcasting thing. Last week we talked a lot about this. We didn't put the episode up, but Moralo, or what is his name? I'm sorry.
Mauro Ranallo, Mamma Mia.
Mr. Mamma Mia. This has been an ongoing.
Sorry.
That's true. He does. No, he does say that. This has been an ongoing story with this guy, and the whole JBL thing, and now like more and more people are getting involved.
Yeah.
We touched on this last week about the coach. Getting involved, Dave Meltzer getting involved,
Justin Roberts,
other people have actually, Justin Roberts,
Rich Brennan, Chris Masters recently said that he would say JBL was a terrible bully.
And we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, how this guy has other gigs and he's doing those other gigs. He's doing the Showtime boxing, and how it's just a little odd that WWE is the only one that he can't seem to do. So obviously this has to be a JBL thing. And last week, by the way, while we were doing the show, we got the SmackDown Live thing about a fan who had a sign, and he was escorted out of the building. I think it said JBL bullies me or whatever.
Yeah.
And so obviously this is a story that is touching on a lot of nerves, because I don't know if people know this or not, but in this era that we're in right now, bullying is a major hot topic. And the reason I say that is because, we've had major problems with bullying. Suicides occur from bullying. The thing about this is that if you're JBL and the WWE, do you consider this bullying or do you consider it ribbing? Because we now live in a fine line where we don't know what's bullying and we don't know what's ribbing anymore. Or do we throw away ribbing because it's too much like bullying? Mm-hmm. Because I'm pretty sure that if you ask JBL, somebody gets the nerve and puts a microphone in JBL's face, he's going to say, I was ribbing the guy. I do that with everybody. And that's what they're going to call it. And that's where you encounter the problem. is that we know from past history, Owen Hart would tie people's bags up and put shit in their bags. Today, that would be considered bullying.
No, it's a big difference. It's a big difference.
I think Hardcore Holly actually spoke upon this about how they were in the airport. It was him and Steve Blackman, and JBL Bradshaw at the time came up and was like, horsing around, and Blackman told him, don't be doing that. So Bradshaw grabbed Blackman's ass, and then he said, I'm not into that joking shit, don't do that again. So he grabbed his ass again, and then Blackman beat the shit out of JBL at an airport. This is, I mean, there is a bit of a fine line when someone says stop it, and then they just keep on doing it over and over like that.
Right.
Yeah, and also, when they talk about Owen Hart, they say, yeah, he used to rib, he was a joker, but we loved him. I've never heard anybody say, I love JBL. It's always, he's a bully, he's ribbing people, he takes advantage of the new people. You never hear that about Owen Hart. It's a big difference.
Yeah.
I know that there is a difference. What I'm saying is that to JBL, in his mind, is there a difference? Is what I'm saying. But
you don't rib somebody that has a mental issue, who suffer with depression. You don't do that. If it's a light rib, fine. But who knows what JBL was doing? Come on, I heard horror stories about people shitting in people's backpacks. I mean, if you're doing stuff to that extent,
that's your
especially with a guy.
That's your WWE champion, Randy Orton.
Well, so I'm not saying JBL did it, but I'm just saying if you're doing ribs and that level, you don't do that to somebody who suffers with depression. Come on.
Yeah.
But what I want to know is, did JBL know that he was suffering from this depression?
I don't think JBL would have gave a fuck either way.
Exactly.
No, but it does make a difference though, because if JBL didn't know, then how can you blame JBL for doing something that he didn't know he was doing?
Maybe if the guy tells you stop with a serious face, maybe you stop. I mean, it doesn't matter.
Stop. He has a history of just not stopping, just doing it over and over.
Because the bottom line is that JBL is not going to lose his job. You know what I mean? Nothing's going to happen to JBL. In other words, JBL will not learn his lesson, is what I'm saying. You can have all the people in the world that used to work there come out, on Twitter and stuff, but unless it affects JBL, the culture is not going to change. So the next guy is going to get it, or the next guy, or whoever. It depends on if JBL likes you or not. Apparently. He tried to do that with Blue Meanie, and then WWE did a little storyline to make Blue Meanie feel better. But we all know that JBL beat the shit out of Blue Meanie. I mean, this is not.
But you know that Mauro Ranallo is firing back, right? He threw little shots during MMA promotion, right? During when he was calling the fight.
No,
when the guy came out. No, actually, bullshit. It was a girl. When the girl came out, he specifically said, professional wrestler turned MMA fighter, and it feels good to say professional wrestler. Like he emphasized the professional part.
Wow.
Like WWE.
And also,
go ahead.
Right. And also the first thing that he did.
How is that a shot at JBL though?
It's a company, professional. Basically trying to say that WWE is not professional.
No, I know.
That's basically what he's saying.
It's not that. It was the fact that he.
No, it's the whole. It's the whole
superstar, not professional wrestler. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
And initially,
go ahead. No, I was going to say that again. JBL is in the clear because he's taking a shot at the company, not JBL.
And then the first thing when he first spoke out indirectly about the whole situation, the Young Bucks basically tweeted. They randomly found out that JBL blocked them for no reason. They never even had Twitter conversations with him. So they basically tweeted, JBL, blocked us. We don't know why. And Mauro Ranallo retweets it and says, I'm not surprised. And then and that's it. I know it's not a big deal, but that's kind of, a little shot at JBL right there.
I'm curious if JBL blocked me.
I heard he goes on a blocking spree. Why? I have no idea. I heard if you even say anything to Mauro Ranallo, he'll block you.
Hey, JBL did block me. I don't remember.
See, this guy's...
Well, then again, I've also got Shawn Michaels and Kevin Nash who blocked me, so I don't even know, man.
My point is that JBL, this ultimately does not affect JBL because nobody's going to step to him. JBL will probably tell Vince he was ribbing and Vince will probably take him at his word. And he'll probably say, well, that guy was probably too sensitive or whatever. My point is that this is not going to prevent something in the future from happening unless you do something to let JBL know that what he has done for the last 25 years is not acceptable anymore. I'm not.
But nobody knows for sure if it's bullying though. Braun never said it himself. He never said, "Hey, I'm getting bullied by."
And that's by the way, that's my point right there. Is that in today's world, anything is considered bullying, even if you're not doing it necessarily, or if you're going by the way you were brought up or the way I was brought up. Today's world is completely different than it was, 25 years ago. Guys like JBL, they don't start a whole new pattern. Their pattern is their pattern, and that's what they're going to do, and that's how they always done it, and that's how they always will do it, unless you do something about it. Now, from what I can see, JBL's totally in the clear. He probably doesn't give a shit.
Oh, he's in the clear because all Vince McMahon had to do was shuffle the announce team, and that's it. Obviously, Vince McMahon doesn't care about Mauro Ranallo.
Just to switch gears.
Well, he did shuffle the announce team, just the black guys, though.
Hey, get rid of David Otunga for Booker T. But to shift gears, Brian Hunt wanted to bring this up because we have not talked about this. I'm guessing not last week. I wasn't here. Minor League Baseball. It's terrible. Alberto El Patron. He's been having fun with Patreon lately, drunk videoing with Paige, and I didn't see the first video in its entirety because it was like 40 minutes long. I saw the second one. That was about 2 minutes long. And essentially, he just keeps on beating the shit verbally towards the WWE and how he couldn't hate that company, and TNA is such a great company, and they don't treat him like a Mexican hound dog in TNA or whatever phrasing he used.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and then
we
got
touched on this a little bit.
No. There's a new video out though. This is 2 videos now. It's not the and my first reaction about the video when I seen it, he keeps talking about the company. Paige keeps on intervening. Hey, I still work there with a smile on her face. Yeah. It just seems like, in my opinion, Alberto Del Rio really is trying to get her fired. All right, because if you had any kind of consideration about the girl and her job, he wouldn't even be going on these rants next to her talking about a company. Meanwhile, he knows that she's under fire because of what's going on with the sex tape. Now, I mean, she just looks like somebody who's just trying to be a ride or die girl. You know what I'm saying? Stand by her man by all means. And it's sad. And it's sad because it's going to end up her job. It's going to cost her job.
By the way, just for the record, I said that months ago, even before the sex tape. I said when she hooked up with Alberto Del Rio, that was the end of her career. Now, I know that she's technically not fired for whatever reason, which I'm still baffled by, because there's plenty of things that she could have gotten fired over. And, even if you don't include the sex tape, the drug allegations, the whole thing with being with Alberto and his partying ways. So let's just say that Paige, for some miracle, continues to work for WWE. I'm telling you, and I said it months ago, either she gets fired or she quits, or they're going to punish her till there's no tomorrow. Either way, Paige is going to suffer in some manner. And I said that way, way long ago. Alberto, by the way, proving the kind of person that he is with these videos, because unless Alberto truly believes that WWE really is responsible for the video leak, because that is apparently what Alberto really believes, that Triple H leaked those videos for what purpose I don't know. Because if I'm Alberto Del Rio and I know that I'm this PG company, what purpose would Triple H gain from leaking those videos? I just, that baffles me for some reason.
They've been trying to make those two break up for a while, and that's his mindset. They even gave them an ultimatum. And they even gave them an ultimatum that break up or we're going to bury both you guys or whatever it was.
Yeah, no, but even if that were the case, it still doesn't make any sense money-wise. Again, a PG company, a very image now oriented company. I just don't see WWE doing that. But again, Alberto believes that they did it. Regardless, You know, regardless, Alberto, for whatever reason, believes that WWE did this. For what reason, I don't know. So, if you're Alberto Del Rio and you believe that the WWE leaked these videos of your soon-to-be wife, you know, I can understand Alberto trying to do everything under the sun to get that bitch fired. You know, why would you want your wife working for a company that released sex videos about you? You know
exactly.
What I mean?
And why would you want your wife to go back to a company where one of the people you had sex with still works there?
I know. Either way, it doesn't make any sense. Like the whole thing doesn't.
Alberto Del Rio had sex with half the women's locker room, so.
Yeah, but you got to understand, Sean. Alberto doesn't see it that way. It's one thing for him to do it, but it's another thing for Paige to do it. It's a totally. I could see. I saw that video, that first video, and I could tell the kind of person Alberto was from that video. You know, this is a guy that if I was Paige, I would be looking around my surroundings and realizing that this guy is going to be nothing but trouble for me.
Yeah.
You know, because he does not have her best interest at heart. He's accusing the company that she works for of releasing these videos, and he's trying to get her fired, and all of this nonsense. And for what? And for what is the gain for Alberto Del Rio? And that's just simply to put his bitch in her place. That's it. From Alberto's perspective, that's what that whole thing is about, being macho and all that kind of stuff. It must drive him absolutely insane of the thought that Paige could somehow, you know, go back to work and Xavier's there and Biggie Langston, all the joking that they do backstage and all that kind of stuff. It's going to drive Alberto insane. He's going to do whatever he can to get Paige fired, basically. And if I was Paige, I said it months ago, I'm saying it now, get the hell out of there. That's all I'm saying. Because Alberto is bad news, apparently, for this girl. He's gonna cost her job, and way more so than CM Punk. At least CM Punk was stable. You know, Alberto doesn't seem stable to me whatsoever. You know, to be going out in public and, you know, berating the company like that, I don't know.
Well, he was obviously drunk and high when he made these videos. He wasn't in the right state of mind.
Even more. Yeah. Of a point to be made for Paige.
And how sad is it, man? He was in New York City, man, Times Square. Like, he didn't have nobody going up to him asking for autographs. Like, damn, how unimportant these people are.
Oh, I would have.
Exactly, me too. Like, what happened, man? Yeah, I'm pretty sure Braun Strowman would have been in Midtown. Everybody, he would have had a line full of people trying to get his autograph.
But that's my point right there. Do you think that if Alberto is doing drugs and drinking and all that, do you think that that's gonna not affect his future wife? That she's not gonna be influenced by that culture? Of course she is. She's
good. She already failed 2 wellness programs. That's it. It's over.
That's and exactly my point. Alberto has been nothing but trouble. Triple H in this case was right. Alberto was nothing but trouble for her, and they were right in that sense. And you know, he's trying to get her to TNA and all that stuff. Now TNA is the greatest company. You know, it's the greatest company ever.
Of course, Del Rio thinks that because he's a Mexican. When was the last time? Let's see. Last time a Mexican was WWE champion or a black guy as WWE champion. They've never had a black guy as WWE champion.
Yes, they did. They had Mark Henry.
That wasn't WWE champion. That was a world champion.
No, that wasn't. Yeah, that wasn't WWE champion.
I don't care. He was a champion.
By the way, was Jeff Hardy?
Jeff Hardy was
Jeff
WWE
Hardy
champion.
Both the world and WWE?
The Rock is half black. Just to let you know that. So
he's Samoan. He's only black.
He's half black.
Actually, asked him.
Yo,
ask WWE.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny? Last week, we were talking. I was talking about because he was like, I'm gonna go see the Fast movies, and I was like, I've already had it up to here with the Fast movies. But unbelievably, for some God unknown reason, it made the most money out of any Fast and the Furious movie has ever made in opening day. I mean, it made more money than some superhero movies that come out.
That's exactly what it was, a superhero movie. After I was done watching it, it reminded me, it was the Transporter / Fast and Furious. Jason Statham did whatever he did in Transporter, he did it in this movie. It became way more than just racing cars.
But my point is that this is not going to stop because of the money that it made. That's my point. This shit is going to continue on and on and on, and they're going to be, fighting on the ice, fighting in a football field.
Remember when this
cars
movie was
coming out of the fucking water.
Remember when this movie was about illegal street racing? Now it's about double agents and spies.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Exactly.
You watch that first movie, it's a really good movie, man. Like it's a really, really good movie. It had cars in it, but it had a good story. And even Part 5, the first movie that The Rock was in, a good heist movie. Really, I recommend those two in particular. I can't speak. I saw Tokyo Drift is garbage, but we're at the point now where Paul Walker died, right? And I thought, okay, they're gonna have some sense. They're gonna stop this franchise. No, it's not gonna stop. They do the whole Rock Vin Diesel have a feud thing so that they could sell the movie, and the movie makes $100 million in the first opening weekend. I mean, what that tells the studio, what that tells The Rock and Vin Diesel is, we want more of these motherfuckers keep cranking them out. Mindless garbage is what I call it.
Well, that's why they named it Fate and the Furious. Now, I guess that's their way of saying, hey, this is not about race cars no more. I mean, let's be honest here. I mean,
that happened like 4 movies ago. I'm telling you, dude.
This time it's really looked like the transporter, bro.
In part six, they actually did the move that the Legion of Doom used to do, called the Doomsday Device, between The Rock in a fight. That's why I knew. I was like, this is it. I was like, this is done right now.
I see why.
And I'm gonna keep it real.
Fate of the Furious, F8, Fate. That's terrible.
Let me tell you something. I was watching and I was really studying The Rock's acting, and I just can't get over the fact that he just looked like he's cutting a promo. He's
a terrible.
Let me tell you something. Yeah, he's not a good actor, and also he took a lot of his jokes from WWE and he's putting it in the movies. And it's like, I heard that you said that against.
First of all, I disagree about The Rock not being a good actor. Number one, because if you saw that movie with Michael Bay, he actually was a good actor in that movie. Now, granted, in any of the Fast movies, no, he's not a good actor, or any of the other movies that he's ever made. But
are you talking about them?
No, I'm just saying, like, if you're a guy that, for the most part is not known for your acting, but you can act in one movie, that means that you can act. That means you could.
Batista's pretty decent. I enjoy Batista's acting.
Right, but what I'm saying is that Rock has potential to do that if he's given the right vehicle. But he's in these movies where he doesn't have to do that, Like he's in a movie where all he has to do is like no sell bullets in one of the trailers of this movie.
No, but they were rubber bullets though. There wasn't real bullets.
But still, I mean, in the trailer it made it look like he was no selling bullets, and so you're not going to do a lot of acting. He's not Daniel Day-Lewis basically in any of these movies. But what I'm saying is that The Rock has potential to be a good actor, but he hasn't had a lot of opportunities to display that, unfortunately.
Oh yes, he did. He had a lot of movies out, bro. He has a lot of movies to display it, and by now I thought he would be Denzel Washington. He's The Rock.
He has movies
in the movie.
Most of his movies are mindless garbage, though. Most of his movies are not. First of all, Denzel would not be in any of the movies that he's in. That's number one. Denzel actually has pride.
Imagine Denzel Washington freaking being in the ballet in the Game Plan. Seriously.
That's what I'm saying. Like even after 30 years in movies, Denzel's still being recognized for his acting. I mean, that's longevity. That's an actor. Wow. You know what I mean? The Rock's movies are not movies where you're gonna find a lot of great acting in them. Plus, they have Vin Diesel, so. Talk about. I'll take The Rock's acting over Vin Diesel's acting any day of the week.
Yeah, because Vin Diesel doesn't know how to act either.
Oh God, he's horrible, man. He's horrible. That guy. Who the fuck asked for another XXX?
Yeah, I heard about that. But anyway, whatever. There's something I wanted to touch on about Raw real fast. About the revival. The guy got injured, right? He got a cracked jaw.
I think it was Scott Dawson.
Yeah.
No. It was the other guy. What's his name?
Crap, Jed Mother.
Wait, Scott Dawson?
Name. Scott Dawson and his partner. What's his partner's name?
Dillinger.
No, okay, him. So he basically fractured his jaw, right? fighting. Who was it? Was it Nakamura and Akio Otami? Right. That's what it was.
Akira Tozawa.
Yeah, whoever. Anyway, I want to know who's the one that broke his jaw. Was it Nakamura? Because my point, you already know what point I'm about to make.
I hope it was Nakamura.
No. I want to know, was it Nakamura the one? Because that just stresses what I was saying before. This is the third person that he injured. Right or wrong?
This was okay. The Revival took on Hideo Itami and Shinsuke Nakamura. Looking into what exactly happened, it's unclear whether the injury occurred during the match or outside the ring. But the last guy he wrestled was, so it may have been he might have just cracked his jaw up getting drunk at a bar. There's no clear.
No, they're saying it was during the match.
Yeah, they said it was during the match.
Let me see if I can.
And I'm going to go on a limb and say it's Nakamura, and I'm going to also say Nakamura. This is the third person he injured. Joe, who's the other guy? Austin Aries, and this guy now.
Samoa Joe's done that, and so is Seth Rollins.
I'm just saying, like, you know what I mean? I'm just saying, you see the pattern here. Strong style, all right, fine. It's great to see, but, he has to learn, man. I'm starting to think maybe the communication is just not there. His lack of English is not there to communicate with the wrestler. That's what I'm starting to think.
I don't know, but Dolph Ziggler's in serious trouble. That's all I know.
Oh, my God.
I'm being dead serious, by the way.
At this rate, yeah, he probably is, because this guy's just injuring people's jaw. Listen, he almost broke Samoa Joe's jaw. I mean, if he did this guy for the Revival, look at that.
Yeah, but again, Samoa Joe wasn't complaining, and
it's a jaw injury. Bro. I mean, he was back within a month. This guy is supposed to be back within a month as well.
But the guy is famous for doing that, though.
Yeah.
Like, that's why he's famous.
So you think Vince is gonna be like, hey, you can injure all my superstars. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna give you the title. No, he's gonna eventually they're gonna pull his sport
killed
back.
a man, and
they're
now he's
promoting him as the King of Strong Style. I mean, what do you? I don't understand.
Samoa Joe killed a man, and now he's going to be facing off for the Intercontinental title soon. I mean, what do you want?
Yeah, not only that, but if you had a guy and you promoted him as the Machine Gun Killer, and he kills someone with a machine gun, are you going to blame the Machine Gun Killer? Like, that's what he does. That's who he is.
But to be a little more safer, come on. This is third person in a short time. How many more people is he going to injure? I guarantee if you would have broke AJ Styles' jaw, you would have had a way different tune. All right.
Yeah, it would have been a more whatever tune, I bet, because he's broken AJ Styles' jaw before, and AJ continued the match.
Oh, he did? Look at that. This guy is just a breaking bone machine, man.
But that's what he does. Oh, that's what he does.
They didn't sign the guy and expect him to go like, hey, be really patty cake with everyone.
But I'm pretty sure when they gave him the contract, the fine print didn't say, hey, break jaws and eye sockets. So I don't think it said that.
But you know what the difference is? AJ Styles or Samoa Joe or guys like that, they're not going to complain, though. They're really not going to complain. Those guys understand who Nakamura is, and they understand what he's about. Now Dash Wilder might be a different story, or Dolph Ziggler might be a different story.
It's just unfortunate for them. They just got in Raw. Like, this is the second weekend, and now they got to take 2 months off. That's a long time. That does suck. And by the way, Hideo Itami is pretty stiff too, so we don't really know if
I can't find anything that said who did it. We just know that these were the two guys he was facing, Itami and
Japs, man.
I mean, let's be real though. I mean, out of those three, Nakamura's getting the finger.
and he's gonna give him the finger back, that little pose he does. Like.
Nakamura is the prime suspect here. All right, let's not. He's the black guy out of the group.
I thought the other guy gets injured. He don't injure people, right? The other guy.
Tommy? I think he's had a history of injuries. He's always injured in WWE that he hasn't had the chance to injure anyone.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Well, is he the Japanese guy that's always getting injured when he comes back from NXT? He ain't injured people. He just gets injured, because it's fucking Nakamura.
My suggestion would be not to put Hideo Itami and Finn Balor in the same ring at the same time. Because those two guys have only gotten injured and have done nothing in the WWE but get injured. And then especially, like, you really don't want to put Baylor, Itami, and Nakamura because he'll fuck him up both.
Hardbody Mahal KO'd this guy, but he didn't break his neck, He wrestled the next week, so, that's a true professional right there.
With Joe, like, paralyzed someone, so I don't...
Right.
Oh my god.
I mean, he is the destroyer.
Yeah, the destroyer.
Checking to see what the comments are about this recently. Pretty much only about The Rock right now, so yeah.
And you know what's funny about that is that the Revival almost injured Xavier Woods last week.
They did, right? I do remember something like that. I was just so smoked out. I don't even know.
They dropped him. They dropped Xavier on his neck, man. Payback's a bitch. I guess Nakamura got a phone call from Xavier Woods. Payback. But yeah, you know, you got to put Nakamura with AJs and guys like that.
Yeah, that is the rumored match for WrestleMania 34 for the WWE title: Nakamura versus AJ Styles.
Very good.
And let's face it, Nakamura's over. When Dolph Ziggler said, "Who are you?" the crowd went nuts and chanted Nakamura. So it's not. The guy
was more over not doing anything than most wrestlers have an entire a career.
It's true.
You know, like that guy is just massively over, which is why I keep saying like I feel bad for Hideo Itami because. You cannot put this guy with Nakamura on the same show. Like Nakamura is just going to overshadow Itami almost in every way, you know. But yeah, Nakamura is massively over, and they know they have something there. So at least I don't know if you know WrestleMania 34 will be good for one thing.
Have you noticed that they've been calling the shining stars the colognes? They started to do that today, right?
Good. Oh, yeah.
So yeah, so my well, it's not already a theory. It's a little rumor I heard that supposedly they're trying to bring in Carlito to join them. So I think it's going to be more of a reality because now they're calling them the colognes. You know what I'm saying? Right after that rumor starts happening. So I won't be surprised if Carlito will be joining that little team soon.
Yeah, they seem to be like hiring a lot of people all at the same time because didn't they just hire Mike Bennett?
No, he was just backstage at SmackDown. And he's got a lot of ROH friends at SmackDown, so... Whether it's him negotiating or what, we don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yo, and the Colognes beat American Alpha today. This is what the hell is going on here? This is crazy. I honestly did not expect that. I did not expect that.
What the hell is going on here?
Yo, what the hell happened to American Alpha, man? This is just bad. I mean, listen, I know I give them slack for their title run, but damn, the Colognes out of all people.
You know what's crazy about American Alpha is that they are. You know, they're in the WWE at the exact same time as Kurt Angle. And
yeah, I know, right? And then different fucking
nobody's realized that yet.
I know, right?
I don't understand like it just like that irritates me as much as the fact that they had the Undertaker in the company at the exact same time that they had Sting. In the same WrestleMania,
yep.
And they did nothing with it.
But then you got the guy from American Alpha doing all the Kurt Angle mannerisms, but they can't be in the same show.
I'm just saying, like American Alpha needs something because I don't know what the hell happened with American Alpha, but it is bad. Like they took a nosedive at some point. I don't know what happened with them.
I think it's those tights, man. I think it's those American tights. I know it sounds stupid, but I just think that once you put American tights on a wrestler in 2017, is doomed. It is bound for failure. It just seems corny. It seems 80s. It just doesn't seem. I don't know. When was the last American-made wrestler that was like really over besides Kurt Angle? We're talking about nowadays. Jack Swagger tried it, flop. American Alpha tried it, flop.
Derek Bateman tried it. That was terrible.
I mean, it's those tights, man.
Like Kurt Angle's the only one that did it because like the Patriot didn't do so well. Freaking Lex Luger couldn't make it as well as a Kurt Angle level.
Patriot was a little bit hot for a little bit,
but Kurt Angle got over with his wrestling. It wasn't because of his, you know.
Yeah,
really wasn't because of him being an American supporter. You know?
Let me put it this way: if American Alpha had a completely different outfit, it would still be the same American Alpha. I don't think that would do anything.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's something about American tights. It just seems so 80s to me. It just doesn't. I don't know. Don't do nothing for me.
I don't think that would change anything about American Alpha.
Well, yeah, right. Because they're not gonna change their personality. No,
they
have none.
What personality?
That's what I'm saying. They have none.
I don't understand though, because people at NXT didn't seem to notice.
Well, NXT is kind of like Ring of Honor. They'll appreciate great wrestling more so than great characters.
And it is more wrestling in NXT than storylines. You know what I mean? You're in a different stage now. You got to have acting skills and promo skills over here. So
I don't know.
NXT.
I think Nakamura is the only one that could pull off both those things, really, promos and wrestling.
What promo? He doesn't have a promo. It's just his mannerisms. That's what gets Nakamura over.
He's just
all he has to do is twitch a little bit, and that's all he has to do, and it's over. Like, I gotta give him credit, man. For a guy who barely knows English, he is the most over Asian ever. Any Japanese wrestler, Chinese wrestler, he's the most over ever in WWE. And I have to give him credit for that.
He oozes so much charisma with every little mannerism he does. He's kind of like Hogan was in the 80s, where he may not have been a great... Well, this one's a different situation, but he was do these mannerisms in the ring that got the crowd crazy, more so than actually his promos.
It's fucking crazy. And I have to say this one part. I loved... Even though I don't know much about the guy, I don't really care about him, but I liked the drifter when he would drift by Chris Jericho. It was a really great fucking segment. I don't know. I liked it. I thought it was really funny.
I still haven't seen this drifter.
Exactly. Yeah, he comes through. He just drifts right by Chris Jericho while he's having an interview, and then he puts him on the list for doing it. It was funny. It was pretty cool.
And then in keeping with the Mike Bennett rumor and all that kind of stuff, or the colognes. Then we have Shelton Benjamin, who writes today that he did not sign a contract with WWE and that he's a free agent. Now, is Shelton Benjamin bullshitting, or because that really bummed me out? I got to tell you,
it might have been like Rhino, for example, where he was just kind of a independent guy who's just signed a per appearance with WWE.
Yeah, but why would they give him a video package for 2 or 3 weeks?
Because he was supposed to show up.
All right, but why would they give him a video package if they didn't sign a contract? That's my point.
Exactly. Yeah, that sounds fishy to me. I don't know. They wouldn't do that. They normally would not do that if they didn't sign some kind of a deal or something like that. I don't know. Either way, I hope it's not true, because I was very excited about seeing Benjamin again. I mean, though, I don't know where he would fit now, but
I mean, Shelton Benjamin with American Alpha wouldn't be bad.
That's true.
No, it would be better if he goes against them. To be honest, find himself another tag team partner going against them. Maybe Charlie Haas or something. But I think Charlie Haas is retired now.
I think the problem with Benjamin with American Alpha is that Benjamin doesn't have that great of a personality either. So I don't know who would be. You have to.
Yeah, I know, right? You think about the segments, God.
If you put somebody with American Alpha, they have to have an extraordinary personality. You can't put somebody with the same personality. That's kind of the problem with American Alpha. I don't know, man. It's just been a massive failure for tag teams in general that have come out of NXT. Ascension went down. Vaudevillains went down.
Well, did you guys talk about Simon Gotch last week? We probably hit that again this.
We did, but and I basically said my thing about Simon Gotch is that they weren't using him. Why keep someone that they're not using? Now I'm just saying from that standpoint, I know why, it went down the way it did, because, he did not have the best reputation. Yeah. But if I'm WWE and I'm paying you and we're not using you, the fans are not taking to them, why keep them? Get rid of them both. I don't understand. Because there were some people that were like, well, how could they get rid of somebody right after WrestleMania? It's just like, well, you're going to just keep someone just for the sake of keeping them? You can't get rid of anybody that you're not using, But we all know that Simon Gotch was apparently a lot more trouble than he was worth being there. So.
And supposedly,
Aiden's known to be really well liked, and at one point, I guess, he went to management and said, please break me up, because he knew that Simon Gotch's personality was weighing down his career as well.
Yeah.
Supposedly the English, supposedly didn't really like him.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
But Simon Gotch basically said that he's going to be doing an interview and he's going to clear the air. that a lot of the things that you're hearing is not true. That it's false. So let's see what happens.
I don't know. I was probably one of the very few people on earth that really enjoyed the Vaudevillains. I love them. I use them a lot in my game.
I did too.
I love the concept of them. And again, I don't know why WWE didn't move forward with that tag team division. You could say that it was the Vaudevillains and they didn't get over. No, I think WWE had a lot to do with that. They didn't really push them the right way. They didn't give them a chance. Same thing with American Alpha. Because you can't tell me that all those tag teams failed at the same time if it's just one of those tag teams that sucked. Then why did American Alpha fail, or why did the Ascension fail? It's because they had nothing to do with the tag team division. They didn't want nothing to do with it. So I think it's a big waste of time, man. Because I like the Vaudevillains. And Simon Gotch could wrestle, man. He could wrestle in that ring.
Yeah, I actually like Simon Gotch. It's a shame, but let's see what happens in the future. You never know. Maybe he's just young and stupid. Eventually people mature. So.
Yeah, well, he's already on his I'm gonna talk a lot of shit tour, so I don't think that's gonna happen anytime soon. It was them, not me, tour. I didn't have the attitude problem. I didn't come late. So only people that were back there are gonna be able to know something like that. But Simon Gotch is not taking any responsibility whatsoever for the failure of the Vaudevillains, which, again, I'm very saddened about on a personal level.
So how do you guys feeling about the new Cruiserweight division we're seeing with a heel TJ Perkins?
Love it, man. Absolutely.
I like it. And it's like, and I forgot who said it. Somebody said it. Now he's dabbing, and it's like, it's more annoying now because he's a heel, you know what I mean? Like, it fits him now. Like, doing a stupid dab is, like, just annoying. So now he needs to be doing it even more. Not when he was a face doing it, trying to look cool and look pretty ridiculous.
It's kind of like I'm looking at a Disney reference for this one. Hades and his two stupid, lovable goons of Pain and Panic. That's what it feels like with Austin Aries and another Greek god, Austin Aries and T.J. Perkins. That one's the goofy goon and the other one is your tough British heel. Ooh.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I've been saying for a while that this guy's sob story did not get over with the crowd, and this was the best thing that could have happened to him. Unfortunately, I will say this. Unfortunately, it's happening at the very same time that Adrian Neville's doing what he's doing. I don't know if there's room enough for those three guys, and technically four if you want to add Jack Gallagher, because he's also was kind of emerging as well. But because one of those two guys are going to suffer. That's just the way it's going to go. They're not going to push both those guys on a continuous level. In terms of Monday Night Raw, in terms of pay-per-view television, they'll do it on 205 Live, but on pay-per-view television, it's going to be one at a time, basically. So I don't know how far they're going to go with Perkins, but I love it. I think it's the best thing. He was not getting over as a good guy. He was boring. He was drab. And nobody cared about his fucking homeless story. You're doing bad when nobody cares that you're homeless. And this is not even like a hardcore crowd. This is like a PG crowd, and even the PG crowd was like, "We don't give a shit." Well, who cares? Like my show's about to start. So I think this is the best thing that happened for him. I just hope he doesn't get lost because Neville's kind of doing his thing right now. So I don't know. I mean,
Perkins, they're trying to make him like the number 2 heel, and he is supposed to be Neville's goon still. The purpose for him is to be the barrier between Austin Aries and Neville right now.
I hope so, man, because I think it's I love it. I really enjoyed when he did it last week, and really liked the stuff that he did last night. One of the brighter spots of Raw, to be honest.
Yeah.
205, because I'm not in love with the stuff on Raw that much, but
205 is finding their spot slowly, man. Between
Perkins,
Tozawa, Kendrick, they're getting it.
Well, I don't know about Kendrick. But.
Well, the Kendrick Tozawa, last week's, I didn't see this one yet. Last week's Akira Tozawa and Brian Kendrick feud, it was Kendrick versus I want to say it was Jack Gallagher, and suddenly, middle of the match, the bell rang, and you turn to the bell, and it's Tozawa like, "Hey, buddy," just that really goofy Asian accent at him, and just like, oh, that's awesome.
You know what's funny and interesting is that after the WrestleMania fallout, Brock Lesnar has the match with Goldberg, he wins the Universal title, and just completely disappears off the face of the earth. The guy, normally they'll do something like to have Brock Lesnar leave or whatever. They'll come up with he wrecked ass or he attacked the commentators. Or this time, no, he just bounced. I just find that like the reason I bring it up is because Brock Lesnar is the only guy that I can recall, even more than Hogan in his heyday, because Hogan was working 2, shows on Sundays. More than anyone that I could ever recall, the guy gets to do whatever he wants. And it is just like okay with everybody. I find that incredible. Like, this guy does not care about the company. He doesn't care about the wrestling business. He's said as much plenty of times. And this guy is the Universal Champion, and he's disappeared off the face of the earth. Like, there's never been an example of that ever. So I don't understand it. Like, and then to top that off, you have Dean Ambrose comes over with the second and probably going to be the main title for a little bit, because until Brock Lesnar decides to show up, which probably will be a couple of months, according to sources. So Ambrose is kind of like the guy. And you're feuding him with The Miz, who, again, we just saw that. So I that's why Raw, like, and then on top of everything, you put Nakamura on SmackDown. You put my girl Charlotte on SmackDown. You have AJ on SmackDown. You put Kevin Owens on SmackDown. Now I really have no reason to watch Raw. Like, everybody that I like, and even the people that I liked on Raw, are now on SmackDown. So now I literally have no reason to watch Raw and every reason to watch SmackDown or keep watching SmackDown. because SmackDown and Ty Dillinger,
the New Day, Ruru's on SmackDown, Handsome Rusev.
Yeah, the new Lana spreading her legs and stuff. Like,
right? Hard Body Mahal. Huh?
Oh yeah, don't forget Jinder, baby.
But you understand what I'm saying? Like, Roman is the guy on Raw. Like, so I don't have to watch Raw now because, like, there's nobody on Raw that I don't know. Like
Raw, you've got the Club, I guess. You still have Seth Rollins and Samoa Joe. Braun Strowman's probably the most entertaining thing Raw has right now, which is weird.
I agree with Steve Austin. I'm not in love with Seth Rollins, man. Austin said it best, by the way. He said, "Who is Seth Rollins, really?" Like, you knew who Jake Roberts was. You knew who The Undertaker was. You knew who Austin was. You knew who Shawn was as a person. Who is Seth Rollins? Like, what is he, what is he about? Like, Austin said, like, why? Because you call yourself Seth freaking Rollins? That makes you a main eventer? No. And I agree. Like, I've been saying that problem. Like, Rollins will get it done in the ring. Don't get me wrong. But ultimately, do we care about this Rollins run that he's had ever since becoming a good guy? Like, I don't know. Like, I'm not.
He just does not. He's just not come across to be the top guy on Raw anymore. He really doesn't.
Austin said it really well. I'm not saying it as good as Austin did, but if you don't want to take my word for it, I'm sure you would take Austin's word for it. And Austin said it really, really well about Seth Rollins. And he wasn't trying to badmouth Seth. He was just saying, like, who is Seth? You had this match with Triple H. He was talking about WrestleMania. You had this match with Triple H. He was like, you come in with a torch and you put it on the floor and there's fire. And, and that's supposed to counter the Triple H police escort thing. Like, it just made no sense in that regard, even though I still think that was an awesome match. Yeah. I disagree with Austin on that one. Austin didn't even like the match. But, ultimately what Austin is saying is that, he doesn't have the who he is thing yet. Shawn Michaels was the Heartbreak Kid. He was the best in-ring performer. Razor Ramon had machismo, the bad guy. What does Seth Rollins have, now that he's done with Triple H? Because he had that going for him for a little while, revenge with Triple H. But other than that, that's your number one guy?
His new gimmick he's using is the Kingslayer. It's just like, even that just says, hey, I just beat up Triple H.
It's like The Miz. It's like what John Cena said about The Miz. Like, who are you? You don't have a thing that you're standing on your own. And by the way, I just noticed that the Shield are now on Raw.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I was just thinking that 2 minutes ago. I was going to tell you, but
I just noticed that.
Well, I would actually give a fuck if Roman would show some weakness once in a while.
Yeah, or balls or whatever.
Yeah,
I know, because once the Shield gets reunited, you already know it. Like, Roman is going to look like the leader of the squad now.
Yeah.
Yeah. It sure as hell not going to be Ambrose.
I mean, if they ended up doing what everyone wants, Finn Balor and the Club back together, I would love to see maybe a Shield Club match.
Yeah, that'd be great. And I feel like the Club is picking up momentum. I feel like they putting on better matches. They're winning more. I don't know. I'm kind of behind them now.
Yeah,
and it's even even
I know Joey don't like them.
No, I don't. I really don't. And I'll tell you why. And again, it's because when especially when JBL was on commentary, this guy was talking about all the wonderful things they did in Japan, and then you watch them while he's talking about that, and you don't make the distinction that those are the same guys that he's talking about. You know what I mean? These were the most dominant guys in Japan, but you can't dominate Cesaro and Sheamus. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, if they were more dominant and more, Kevin Nash and Scott Hall, like in terms of domination.
I mean, I feel like a little bit you can blame Roman. Like, they were your Raw Tag Team Champions, and they were losing to Roman Reigns in a handicap match twice.
Oh, with the Club?
Yeah.
Hey, man, we came to job to Roman. That's the way it is, man.
Yeah.
So then you have. Again, in terms of the Raw side of things, you have Samoa Joe, who now has to refine himself. That's another thing, because Kevin Owens went to SmackDown. So now Owens, that was kind of Samoa Joe's identity for about 3 weeks. He was Owens' lackey. So now Samoa Joe has to, reestablish that he's Samoa Joe and he's going to dominate and whatnot. I hope they do that, because I think he could be the number one bad guy there. So then you have the Hardys, right? We talked about this earlier. The Hardys, great to see them. They had that great WrestleMania comeback moment thing. But at the end of the day, I saw about 10, 15 years of these guys. Maybe for people that are watching now, it's cool. But for me, it's not that cool. To watch Jeff Hardy. First of all, they should not be called the Hardy Boys. That's number one.
Exactly. I thought the same thing. The Hardys. That's it.
Exactly. Just like the Dudleys. You take out the boys. They're not boys. At what point do you stop calling someone a boy? I mean, it's just like, it makes no sense.
What's wrong with them coming back? I like the fact that they're back. I mean,
like I said, I like the fact that they're back, but not being the Hardys. Like, I want to see something different with them. I want to see Jeff Hardy do something different. I want to see Matt Hardy do something different.
I really want to see Jeff Hardy fight like people like AJ Styles. He has a lot of new matches that he got. Man. And it's going to be really
new match. And the first one you say was his biggest feud in TNA.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. I forgot about that. But I mean, like in WWE, in the grand stage. Yeah. But you're right, though. He is right about that, though. They feuded a lot, but. Fresh match with Cesaro. He fought Cesaro, which it was an okay match. I didn't think it was that great. I feel like they didn't go all out for it.
Exactly.
But.
Still, Hardy is he won the world title, won the WWE title. He had that great thing with the Undertaker. He has accomplishments. Now Hardy too. The V1, the US feud that he had with MVP was awesome.
The former ECW champion.
You have things that you could build on. You don't have to, and I get it. Listen, for WrestleMania, I was totally fine with that. You want to bring them back as the Hardys for that night? Yes, I'm down with that 100%. But now we're getting, and it is going to come, by the way. I'm not too worried about the Hardys, because I know that they're going to do something with them that's not this. So I'm okay with it. I just want to see them do some new stuff. That's all.
Yeah, I don't understand why did they give like Jeff Hardy his old attire back. How come they couldn't come out?
Exactly.
You know, why he couldn't come out with the whiteout eyes and, you know, how he was, you know, when he was broken. You know, I'm not saying for him to act broken, but why he couldn't come out with a different attire? Why he had to have that glow in the dark sleeve? And I don't know. It's just.
I think a lot of that is them being afraid because almost all of his stuff, Will-O-the-Wisp, the Antichrist, Broken, Brother Nero, like he doesn't have any other gear besides that stuff that TNA's suing him about.
Yeah, and I think,
He wrestled with the same gear in Ring of Honor the day before WrestleMania. I mean,
but Ring of Honor went with it.
But
WWE might not.
Yeah, exactly. And you got to understand. To WWE, they are the Hardys, and that's all they know. You know, they're not. It's not like Vince McMahon is in the back watching what they do at Ring of Honor. You know what I mean? Let's not kid ourselves, okay? So what he knows.
Yeah, but let's not act like he don't know. I'm pretty sure you got people in the back. Hey, look, take a look at this, Vince. You know, look at this.
I don't even think that. I don't. I really don't think he has time for that shit. I don't. You know, he knows who Jeff Hardy is. You know, if he was an up-and-comer, but he's going to watch Jeff Hardy do other stuff in some another promotion? Like, really? I don't see that happening.
Well, he doesn't got to watch the whole match. He could watch just his attire, his gimmick, the way he is, you know. I'm not telling you to watch the whole entire match, you know.
That's why they came back as the Hardys.
Who the hell's Jeff Harvey? I never heard of him.
Exactly. You know, that's why they came back as the Hardys, because that's what WWE knows. That's what they created and all that bullshit. And, you know, but I still have hope for them. I do think that they will venture off.
I tell you one thing. I really, even though if Matt becomes broken, fine. In WWE, I just really do see Jeff Hardy being the star. He, somehow, somewhere in another year, he's gonna get pushed.
Told you.
He's gonna get pushed again. And he's gonna have really good matches.
If they don't have that broken thing from Matt, that's exactly what's going to happen.
Oh, yeah. I see it. It's just Jeff Hardy in WWE just looks like a star compared to Matt Hardy. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just hard. It's hard to say.
When they were in TNA, Matt looked like the star. Jeff didn't. Even though they tried to make Jeff the star, but I don't know. I never felt like Jeff Hardy was a star in TNA. I mean, not the early days, because he was doing pretty good the early days. But during this incarnation, I never felt like Jeff Hardy was a star in TNA. But once he walks through the WWE doors, it's like a different story.
Maybe
it's like just, I don't know.
Like outside the Antichrist, it's just he has to be the Hardy Boys for Jeff Hardy. While Matt's a star just about anything he does. It seems like, just not the star.
Yeah. So, you know, there's hope there, you know. I just, unfortunately, I'm not like everybody else. I still think Roman is going to be a good guy, and I think Roman's going to be the guy. Yeah. And I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. I really don't. And then that's what sucks. So, for the time being, SmackDown, now I can officially say SmackDown's the better show. I mean, once they got Nakamura, they pretty much won by default.
That just sealed the deal right there.
It did. But now, really, like Kevin Owens, come on, man. Charlotte, my favorite female.
The face of America, Kevin Owens.
The face of America. By the way, speaking about the face of America, I don't know why he shaved his beard, but I do not like it. I don't know why, but it bothers me. It bothers me like crazy. So yeah, there's not a lot of interesting things about Raw. You know, the interesting things about Raw is that some SmackDown guys are going to be on the Raw pay-per-view. That's about it.
I think I don't think we're going to see Brock Lesnar until Bad Blood, because Backlash, Payback is the next one. That's a multi pay-per-view, both Raw and SmackDown. Backlash is going to be SmackDown only, and then Bad Blood's going to be Raw only. So
SmackDown's going to be, Backlash is going to be the pay-per-view where I skip it because Jinder Mahal is in the main event with Randy Orton for the WWE title. If I don't, I'm surprised that I had to spend 20 minutes explaining why that's bad. But
I'm going to wait till he wins the title. You have to explain for an hour why that's bad.
Yeah. I mean, Randy Orton winning the title or the Rumble or whatever, it was already bad, but at least we know we're headed down with Nakamura and AJ. At least they have some kind of an indication that that's going to happen, even though we still have to deal with Roman and Brock at that point. But I could deal with it as long as we get one Nakamura AJ. I'll deal with it. Because Roman and Brock, you know, I've said it 1,000 times. I actually enjoyed that match that they had a couple of years ago. I didn't think it was that bad. I just wish Roman would change, and WWE doesn't seem like they need something to drop on their heads or something. Like, fuck you, Roman, and get out of here, and we don't want you. Did not apparently do the job. Or even better, telling Vince McMahon to his face, did not even do the job about how they felt about Roman. WWE the following week, we're going to put him in an angle where he gets sympathy. It's like, what? You didn't hear what they said, Vince? I mean, you acknowledged it. You actually said, well, if that's how you feel, yeah, that's how they feel. And that's how they felt for like the last 3 years. That's how they feel.
Maybe they just didn't like the fact he didn't give a shit. No, that's the one thing we loved the most, is the fact he was like, he's gone. Suck it.
No, because now they're
Shut up!
Sorry. Now they're blaming it on that he beat the Undertaker. That's their excuse now.
It just like they did the sympathy card right before Braun attacked him. Of I felt so bad beating down Undertaker. I looked up to him as my dad and my hero when I was a kid. It's just like he didn't say that dad part, but still, it's just that was the worst thing they could have done before having Braun beat the shit out of him. Because now I'm liking the fact Braun beat him even more.
Yeah, well, apparently everybody else did too.
Yeah,
but that's still not going to be enough for WWE. That's not going to be enough, man. They're still going to make Roman a good guy, and he's going to get his comeuppance on Braun. Because if they were going to do something about it, Braun would be a clear good guy at this point. But Braun is not a good guy. So that means that Roman's going to be the good guy. And he's going to keep being the good guy until Brock comes out, because Brock's going to be way more over. So.
Oh yeah, and Brock's supposed to be the bad guy then.
And that's by the way, again, like I said a couple of minutes ago about Brock, even another part about Brock that's even more fascinating about what I already said is that he could still do all of these things, disappear with the title, and he'll come back through the front door and have people cheer for him.
Oh yeah, that's for sure.
That's amazing about Brock. Like, he's just got that thing going on. By the way, was I the only one that was almost creaming my pants when Samoa Joe was in the ring with Rollins and Kurt Angle almost like did a suplex on Samoa Joe?
I didn't even see that part because my feed was my feed was acting up. He almost suplexed him.
Yeah, I thought like he was trying to get Samoa Joe off. And I was like, oh, here we go, the headbutt. The headbutt heard around the world from TNA. Like, only people that watched the TNA stuff would really have enjoyed that, but I thought that was cool. But anyway, so Backlash is in 2 weeks, or
Payback.
Wait, is it Payback?
Yeah, I think Backlash is in 4. I'm not sure.
Oh God, Payback is in 2 weeks.
Come on, nobody's excited, man. Jinder Mahal is gonna headline.
That's Backlash.
Oh no,
Payback.
That's Backlash.
Payback actually. Outside the House of Horrors match, it looks pretty all right.
Yeah.
I don't care about that. I want to see Jinder Mahal win that belt.
Yeah, I kind of do too because it's hilarious.
I'm being sarcastic here.
Yeah.
Just to piss off Joey.
Just to piss off everyone. Just like the whole crowd, like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah, I know. It was like a sudden silence. Like, you heard Jinder Mahal? Like, Jinder Mahal? Like, what the hell?
I would actually be okay with that. Like, at least you would be showing commitment.
Yeah.
When Jinder Mahal loses, that's when I'm going to be afraid.
Oh my God.
But anyway,
just really say, because we didn't mention any of the live stream matches yet. If you haven't, check out this match. It's on right now. The SAT taking on Amazing Red and Eddie Guerrero in Ring of Honor. And this was when Eddie Guerrero was the WWE Intercontinental Champion wrestling for Ring of Honor.
Oh. So, yeah, definitely check that out. And we'll be doing it, of course, next week, too, live on Tuesdays right after SmackDown. And we'll talk, of course, our pay-per-view predictions by next week. We'll be doing the pay-per-view predictions at that point for Payback. And we'll see where Roman goes from here. Will they keep him off TV? I hope so. They keep him off TV permanently. But anyway, Thank you very much for listening. The man who sleeps on the floor cannot possibly fall out of bed.
What does that mouth do?
I've seen pictures of that mouth. It's weird.
Oh, which one?
All of them.